Hare Krishna, am I audible online?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yes, you are audible.
Hare Krishna, welcome for
Hare Krishna.
class 3 discussion. We are currently in mantra number 12. Mantra 11 we completed last time. Mantra 10 and 11, I believe last time we did together. So today we will continue from mantra 12. Before we begin, let's offer Mangalacharana prayers. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yen Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महापदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरद्विषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम् हरे कृष्णा last time we had session, but it was online. Some of you were at the time. So today we are continuing our discussion in Ishopanishad. We are in the third part of Ishopanishad about knowledge and worship. We had completed the knowledge part of the discussion, mantras 9 to 11. You may recollect them. And today we are entering the mantras 12 onwards, which deal with worship, relative and absolute worship. So let us recite the important shlokas. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate ईशावास्यमिदं सर्वं यत्किञ्च जगत्यां जगत् तेन त्यक्तेन भुञ्जीथा मा घृतः कस्य स्विद्धनम् Hare Krishna. So I hope you are all referring to the guidebook also. Uh, because there the description of the sections are also given. So in the beginning we saw about the proprietorship of the Supreme Lord. In the mantras 1 to 3. Then we saw about the vision of Mahabhagavat. Am I right? The second section. We saw vision of Mahabhagavat from verses 4 to 8. Then the verses number 9 to 11 about knowledge, verses 12 to 14 about worship, we are currently seeing. So last time we studied about this mantras, I think the 11th one we completed last, 10th and 11th. So as you remember that This whole section we began with the discussion about the types, categories of knowledge. Avidya, Aparavidya, and Paravidya. So these three categories are very distinct. Avidya is godless education, material education or knowledge, not based on Vedas. It has some utilities in current day. At the same time, a lot of disadvantages. Then there is Aparavidya, which is based on Vedas. It's talking about material world, how the things function in this world, what are the laws which govern, how different aspects, what are its qualities, what are its basically the nature. To know the material world from the creator. That is Aparavidya in simple. Then Paravidya is knowledge beyond this world. Para, transcendental, that's the word we use, is it not? So that is based on Vedas, especially Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Puranas, Upanishads, they are all from this category. Then we also saw another special category. It is a misunderstanding of the knowledge called false knowledge. To consider something ignorance as knowledge and to guide people on that path that follows this false knowledge. And this is a very unique characteristic of Ishopanishad. It categorizes these different types of knowledge. And in the same lines, we will be seeing worship. Mantra 9 to 11, they exactly reflect in Mantra 12 to 14. So today we will see that. So Mantra number 9 talked about the difference between the false knowledge and Avidya, correct. The false knowledge and atheistic knowledge or godless education. So one line, if we have to say Mantra 9, false knowledge is more dangerous than material knowledge. Avidya is material knowledge. Then Mantra number 10 talked about all types of knowledge about this world and spiritual knowledge. So material knowledge, it only gives bad qualities. Spiritual knowledge gives good qualities, good virtues, amanitvam, madambitvam. Then mantra number 11, last time we saw it, it was very interesting. After telling all this, at the end, Ishopanishad advises one to cultivate both of them together. It's very interesting. So it doesn't say that one should not cultivate material knowledge and only advises spiritual knowledge. It says that one very important principle, best use of bad bargain. Very important principle that is. And on that principle, one should try to harmonize material knowledge with the goal of spiritual knowledge. So one's goal should be, in the exact terms, there were 4 principles called Purusharthas. You may remember this last, that was the last discussion. Among the 4, the goal is the last one, moksha. Dharma, Artha, Kama, they are done with the intent for moksha finally. So, and Bhagavatam, which is Paravidya, it tells us how to conduct Dharma, Artha, Kama, and ultimately what is moksha. That is all described. Savai Punsam Paro Dharmo, that Para Dharma, Paro Dharma is told. That is actually Ahaituki Bhakti. So like this, we saw we should harmonize, we should cultivate both of them together simultaneously, material and spiritual knowledge. Meaning to know that spiritual knowledge will surely give the highest result, but because we are still living in this world, we need to know the nature of this world and develop actually detachment from this world. In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says this, to develop anasakti. So that was the last discussion in mantra number 11. So today we are entering into mantra number 12. So if you see this mantra 9, 10, 11 in a words view, last time we did see this chart and we discussed about it. Maybe mantra number 11 only we can read it. Can you read from? You can read mantra number 11, last one.
Importance of cultivating both spiritual knowledge and material.
Yeah.
Avidya helps to rise above death. Vidya helps one attain immortality. Spiritual knowledge is knowledge about supreme Lord's name, form, quality, pastime, spiritual growth. Material knowledge is to know the nature of material world, workings of material dealing with
Karma. This was last discussion. So today we are entering mantra number 12. Let's see mantra number 12, the shloka. So mantra number 12, even the shloka also resembles very closely mantra number 9. 2 words are only changed. Such is the connection actually. Everything is same except 2 words. But those 2 words are defining terms for the shloka. Andham tamah pravishanti ye asambhutim upasate tato bhuya ivate tamo ya usambhutyamrata. So the words are changed, words are sambhuti, asambhuti. These 2 words. There vidya, avidya was there. You see mantra number 9. And they are replaced by sambhuti, asambhuti. So the principle is same only. If you follow one, you enter darkness. If you follow another, you enter deeper darkness. Correct. Now the terms are changed. Vidya, avidya. Here it is sambhuti, asambhuti. So we'll read the translation and then we'll take up the discussion. You can read translation.
Those who are engaged in the worship of demigods enter into the darkest region of ignorance, and still more so do the worshippers of the impersonal
Absolute. So interesting. In the term we saw about vidya, no? There was false knowledge. You remember? And there was atheistic knowledge. In that same terminology, you can see worship also. There is some worship called pseudo worship. That term will come actually. Pseudo worship means you worship something considering as supreme, but that is completely opposite. You in fact are not worshipping, you are actually offending. One is in fact disrespecting. That such is the wrong understanding. That is actually impersonalism, Mayavad. Then there is other type of worship, which is worship of someone in this world. That's called worship in material worship. You can say, like just like we had material atheistic knowledge, no? There, like that you can say here, material worship. Get it? So they are being compared here. So if we have to see the comparison again, see here, mantra 9 talked about danger of false knowledge. M means mantra. So mantra 12 will talk about danger of false worship. Others we will take up at a certain time when we enter them. So in mantra 9, as we just now saw, godless education was discussed against Mayavad, Karmakanda. You remember? These were called as false knowledge. Karmakanda tells that to just keep accruing punya and going to heavens. And again keep taking birth after birth is the highest thing. That's how Karma Kandis talk. And Mayavadis say that to liberate oneself from this world and merge into that formless aspect, Brahma Jyoti, and destroy one's whole existence. That is the highest aspect, highest attainment. But both are actually false. So both lead to deeper darkness. Now, similarly, in worship, mantra 12, the mantra which talks about danger of false worship, you see, worshipping devatas leads to darkness. I talked about material worship just now. Material worship here means those whom, if we are worshipping something of this world, someone of this world who is not liberated, who is having a material body, though everyone, ultimately the jiva is essentially spirit, but because he's covered by material body, he is not yet liberated yet. And if we are worshipping something of this world, like say Jada Prakriti, then we are going to get destination in this world. This will become very, very clear. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, very clear verse in this. Yanti Deva Vrata Devan. If we worship Devas, what do we attain? We attain Devas. We attain Deva Loka. And that's not something beyond this world. Pitran Yanti Pitru Vrata. Pitrus, if you worship, you go to Pitrulok. Bhutani Yanti Bhutejya. This is taught in 9th chapter, which is called confidential knowledge. So Krishna is telling that whomever you worship, you attain that particular loka. Yanti madhyajinopi mam. If you worship me, you come to me. Krishna very clearly says that, is it not? So that principle will be described. And what are all the wrong understandings that will be discussed by Prabhupada. Okay. And the false worship, just like there was false knowledge, here false worship, that is cultivating the worship of impersonal, avyakta or mayavada upasana, advaita philosophy. That will lead to deeper darkness. They actually don't go beyond this world. In fact, they go to hell. Krishna says this in Gita. Those who wrongly understand me, avajananti mam mudha. Avajananti. Jananti means to know. Avajananti means to wrongly know. Ajananti means to not know. Avajananti means to wrongly understand. And wrong understanding leads to wrong worship. Actually, see, whenever we talk about worship, there is always an understanding behind that worship. You see, like suppose, as a tradition, people are worshipping someone. They have an understanding. Like say, suppose they are worshipping some family deity. They have an understanding, is it not? Or they are worshipping some specific devata also. They have an understanding. And that understanding sometimes may be forgotten over a period of time. But worship keeps continuing as a ritual. But point is, there is an underlying understanding. So the first 3 verses talked about that understanding, knowledge. When that is said, then the next platform of worship is discussed. Understand? Knowledge precedes worship. Knowledge means first step is to know. Then you actually, okay, I know now who is who, what is what I need. Now I go to worship. Like that. So the one who knows this world wrongly, this who is supreme, he wrongly understands. He will worship that wrong person. And what he will attain, that destination is being discussed. So that's why mantra 9 and 12, they are actually reflecting, they are continuation also in that sense. Okay. So now we will go to mantra 12. So as I told, here the words used are asambhuti and sambhuti. There it was avidya and vidya. If you remember there, avidya means what was there in mantra number 9? Godless information. All type of ignorance, the godless. And what was Vidya there? So-called knowledge. Now here you see, what is Asambhuti here? Demigod worship. And Sambhuti here means false worship, so-called absolute. So-called knowledge, so-called absolute. And two categories are clearly told. That will be the description in the purport. Okay. So the word Sambhuti, Prabhupada will describe that in the very beginning. He will describe what is this word Sambhuti. Vidya is something to easily to understand, but Sambhuti, what is this word? So Prabhupada will talk about that. We will directly read from the words of Prabhupada. Okay. So
The Sanskrit word Asambhuti refers to those who have no independent existence. Sambhuti is the absolute personality of Godhead, who is absolutely independent of everything.
Everything. Just a minute. So, Sambhuti. Bhuti. You hear this word, Vibhuti. Huh? Bhuti means existence. Bhu. Bhumi. Bhu Sattayam. That's the actual. Sambhuti means perfect existence. Sam means perfect. Perfect existence. Perfect existence means one who exists at all time, at all places. He is called Sambhuti. Like now I am here for Krishna willing few more days. And at one point of time I won't be here. So I can't be called Sambhuti. You get it? Temporal. Not false, but it's temporal. So it's called as Asambhuti. Asambhuti means one who don't have independent existence. His existence is dependent on Kala, Karma, Guna. They are all determining his existence. How much my karma is there, how Kala is affecting me, what are the gunas. So these all control my existence, the jivas of this world. But the Supreme Lord, he is fully above them. Kala, Karma, Guna, no mat Maya is above that. That's why it's told Sambhavamyatma. Have you heard this word? Sambhavamyatma Mayaya. Where it comes? Fourth chapter. How it starts? Anadi. This is just before that famous every millennium I appear, Yada Yada. That just before that verse. This famous verse comes. So Krishna tells that I am I don't have beginning. He says like he starts like that, and my body doesn't destroy. Just like Jivas. Jivas essentially Atma, it doesn't get destroyed. And he is the controller of the Prakriti. And he says, that's why when I come to this world, I come by my own desire. Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. Atma Maya means my actually internal energy. That's the meaning Prabhupada gives. He comes out of his own desire. When he wants to come, he comes. He's not controlled by Kala, Karma, Guna, Maya. Atma Maya basically means his free will. And that's when he says, Yada, Yada, hi dharmasya. I come. So my desire is, whenever adharma increases, then I come to establish dharma. I come to protect paritranaya sadhunam. All that description comes actually. In Bhagavad Gita, you will see that more elaborately. So Krishna's existence is called as Sambhuti. The word absolute existence is called. So in Gita, Krishna says this at many places, that how his existence is beyond all type of knowledge. People may have tapasya, may gain great vairagya, may get great siddhis. Still they cannot understand. Even liberation, those who are liberated also cannot understand. Krishna says. Is that famous verse? Neither the devatas, hosts of demigods, nor the great sages know my origin or opulences. For in every respect, I am the source of all. Because I am the source, no one knows me fully. I only have to tell about my nature. Is it not? Name vidhu. Vidhu means to know. Suragana prabhavam na maharshaya. Aham adir hi devana. I am the adi of everyone. Devanam, maharshinam cha sarvashaha adina. I am the adi of all. So basically, Sambhuti actually is referring to whom? It's referred to only Bhagavan, who is the source of all, who is beyond all this material energy. Is it not? So he is the origin of all Deva, sages, mystics, and he has all powers. And he, whenever he appears by his own internal potency. That word I told, Atma Mayaya, this is the internal potency. Internal potency basically means it's his free will, his desire, basically. Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. So people, they may try to understand who is supreme, but they will never themselves come to the conclusion of who is supreme. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is one episode, it's a very famous episode. Once there was a great assembly of sages who were trying to understand who is supreme. These are all sages. And they knew Vedas and all. And they, at the end, boiled down the whole discussion into three personalities. One of them may be. And they appointed that Bhrigu. So this comes in Bhagavatam. And then Bhrigu goes and tests. How he tests Brahma? In Venkateshwara Mahatmya, we hear this thing, is it not? This famous story of how Vishnu comes as Venkateshwara here.
So,
He kicks to whom? Vishnu. Brahmaji, I am asking. How he tests Brahmaji? He doesn't show respect, basically. He just enters. He's his father. He just comes in. And Brahmaji, in the mind himself, he becomes a little disturbed at how he is my son. Actually, everyone is Brahma's son only, is it not? And how is it that he is not showing respect? But he senses that he became disturbed. He is under the control of Rajo and Tamo Guna, became angry. So he is not supreme. Then he goes to Shiva. How does he test him? So first test was by mind, level of mind. So when he goes to Shiva, Shiva gets up and he comes to respect. Shiva in one sense is like brother of Bhrigu, because Shiva also appears from Brahmaji. Bhrigu is a Manasaputra, he comes from Brahma. So Shiva comes out to embrace his brother. But Bhrigu says, you're always having ashes around, snakes around, and having all pishachas around you. Unclean place, you roam around. So he tests him by words. By mind, surely it was there, but along with that, he tests him by words. Kaya and Vacha. Sorry, Vacha and Manasa. Sorry. So immediately Shiva becomes angry and he takes away Trishul. Parvati holds him. Don't do it. So he understands. His test is accomplished. So he leaves there. Shiva, no. Then he goes to Vishnu. He not only tests him by mind, he doesn't respect him and he can test. He even speaks. You're sleeping. You are so late, like that. He speaks, and then when he goes, he in fact kicks. That's Kaya. Basically, also he insults. So to that level, one is insulted, it arises in anyone of this world anger. But Vishnu, for great surprise, he doesn't show even an iota of anger, because that is not there only. Raja or Tamo gunas are not in his personality. In fact, he turns out holding his feet, massaging him. Maybe your feet is like that. So that's why if you go You see, there is a mark of foot also on Lord's chest. Bhrugupada, it's called. So Lord very happily he shows to the world that I was kicked. It's very interesting nature of the Supreme Personality. Of course, that Bhrigu gets transformed, saying, and he declares to the world that Vishnu is a Supreme. This comes in Bhagavatam. This is in other Puranas also, but in Bhagavatam it very clearly comes. So this thing. So why this is important? Because see here, many philosophers and great rishis, they try to distinguish the absolute from relative by their tiny brain power. But they themselves cannot understand it. Fortunate was this Bhrigu and these sages. Actually, those who try to understand by themselves who is supreme, they will at max reach to Brahmajyoti. To some extent, they may even go up to Paramatma. But never can they reach to the stage of Bhagavan. Never can they reach the stage of Bhagavan. Because our understanding is always in searching who is supreme, who is not supreme. Relativity, is it not? No? Supreme, not supreme. Like that we are searching. But the supreme person, he is someone who is called absolute. Absolute means that which is beyond all consideration of duality. He is absolute. Parat para, it's called, that word is used. Parat para. So he is beyond all types of understanding of negation. See, this statement is interesting. Definition of the absolute by negation is not complete. I remember here saying that example. Someone who doesn't know what is dragon fruit. He is trying to understand what is right, what is wrong. So this is not an apple, correct? Exactly. So that's called definition by negation. What it is not. Naiti, naiti, naiti. This is not dragon fruit. This is not dragon. Like that, they are searching for what is highest. Nirguna, you can say, yes. So that's called definition by negation. What it is not. But what is necessary is to definition by positive. Positive definition of absolute. See here, it comes also. See, such negative qualities are simply the reversals of relative material qualities, and therefore they are also relative. Can you read the below yellow statement? By conceiving
of the absolute in this way, one can at the most reach the impersonal effulgence of God, known as Brahman. But one cannot make further progress to Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead.
See, the three aspects are there, no? Three understandings: Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. This was there in the very beginning also. So we can reach to this, but to reach to Bhagavan understanding, it cannot be done on our own efforts. In fact, the greatly knowledgeable people of this Brahmanda, Rishis, Devatas, they when they see the Supreme Person's activities, Bhagavan's activities, they get confused. They know theoretically, but when they see him, they bewildered at. Any example? Many examples. Brahma Vimohana Leela. Brahma got bewildered. The highest, most intelligent person of the Brahmanda, he got bewildered. See, he knew, this boy, I had only prayed before he appeared. And when he was in the womb also, I had come and prayed to Mother Devaki, that's called Garbhastuti. In the beginning, I kept hearing about him. He killed this demon, that demon. And when he killed this big Asura, Aghasura, I got to know. When I came, I saw he is behaving like this. So he was confused, bewildered. Brahma Vimo. Any other Devatas or Rishis who saw Bhagavan's activities and they got bewildered. See, there it's wrote. Imperfectly consider him to be a powerful demigod.
Indra.
So Devatas, like Indra, they thought, okay, he saved me. So in the Govardhan Lila, he did offense. There he realized. Again later, he went to Krishna and begged, my mother's earrings are stolen. Please bring it back, oh Krishna. So he did it. He got it from Narakasura. Narakasura was killed and he got it. And then when he gave it, he thought, okay, anyway, now he came to me for protection, so I can take something from him. He took one tree, very nice tree. But he became angry. Indra went on to fight with him. He thought, okay, you seem to be more powerful than me, that's all, but I can try to attack you. So the point is, the most advanced devatas and sages also, they land up in this difficulty of rightly understanding this. It is not by one's own power. Actually, there it is told that, actually one who takes to the path of bhakti, he understands Bhagavan because Bhagavan himself gives that understanding in the path. That path is Lord's extension of hand. He is himself giving that helping hand. Okay, you take the path of bhakti, I am taking you. Though we try to chant holy name and read and all, no? But these methods are given by whom? Krishna. And how he gives, can we just understand by reading some book? No, it should be taken from a bhakta, from a guru. So this is all Lord only giving. Bhagavan only is giving it, actually. Is it not? In different forms. He gives it by Shastra. He gives it by Guru. Is it? As Paramatma also, he guides it. So he himself is taking the path of bhakti is like that. Little we have to just hold on to or follow the path. That's the only credit of the jiva. Otherwise, it's Lord only who is giving all that. So that path is called surrendering unto him in alone devotion. Only such people can know who is the absolute person, who is Sambhuti. What is that famous verse? 10.8. Chaturshloki beginning. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. That word is there. Matta sarvam pravartate. Iti matva bhajante ma buddha bhava samanvita. One who knows me as the source of all material spiritual worlds, everything emanates from me. He worships me, Krishna says. In love and devotion, he worships me. So, to truly understand Sambhuti, the essential thing what we saw in the first part is, we cannot do it by our own efforts. It's very difficult to know Bhagavan. It appears very simple, na? Sometimes people accuse, this bhakti is most simple. To think about Brahma Jyoti is most difficult. But actually, according to Shastras, Bhagavan understanding is most difficult. Now, that was the description of the word Sambhuti. In simple, Sambhuti means absolute personality of God, supreme personality. That word is only for him. That is Bhagavan Krishna. Now, anyone else, surely those who are in this world, whom people also worship, like Devatas, they are not Sambhutis. They are called Asambhutis. In this world, people generally, whom all they worship apart from Sri Krishna, they worship Devatas. Shiva, Parvati, Ganesha, Kartikeya, many. Kali Devi, Durga, and that. They are one category. In fact, Vedas also tell, okay, if you want something, you can worship. Now there are other category of people or jivas whom the other common jivas worship out of their own understanding. They are called false incarnations. Oh, this Bhagavan, that Amma, this Appa, this that. Is it not? Worship, they worship. They concoct, they make up man-made gods there. They are not told in Shastra. See, Shastra tells, in fact, our Vedic philosophy, it is sometimes people accuse you are polytheistic. Have you heard this word? Polytheistic. There are religions like Christianity, Islam, they are monotheistic. He is the only way. They write us. The only way. If you don't accept it, you actually are sent to फिर जो भी नाम आप अलग अलग नाम लिखिए आप whatever you can tell. That's called monotheistic. Now the Vedic culture is, it appears, that's the famous understanding. What? It's polytheistic. Not just one, two. So many devatas are there. Whomever you want, you worship. Whatever is your desire, accordingly you will get an object of a people of worship. You worship. So it accepts everyone like that. Those who are broad-minded people. Now, if you carefully see what it is telling, it is polytheistic in accepting it, but it is conclusively monotheistic. What I mean to say is, in the beginning, if someone doesn't want to accept that one supreme Sambhuti, they are not sent away to hell. Sri Krishna, he says, you don't want to worship me, you don't have Shraddha, you have Shraddha on others. No, okay, you worship them. I give them everything. Whatever you want, I will give them. I will give Shraddha towards them in you also. I will give him the power to give you the benediction. So you worship. And Krishna has given even the path, the method of worship, all that in the Vedas. So he is very broad-minded. You know, that one God itself is so broad-minded. But when one starts to worship, he will see that very Devata whom he is worshipping is also glorifying that one supreme God. Is it not? You know this famous just a minute, where it went. Okay. I'm just worried about the time. I had a plan to do a lot. There is one famous pastime in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat. This is about the Nimai, who happens to challenge one Pandita. Digvijay Pandit. His exact name is Keshav Kashmiri. Have you heard this name? Okay. I think I had switched it off. Keshav Kashmiri. So he was such a great scholar. He is blessed by Saraswati Devi. There was no one who could sit against him and defeat him. And he comes in great arrogance and pride to Navadvip. The boy Nimai is not yet showing himself as Bhakta, but he takes the challenge. And he asks him to, I'm not going to the detail, he asks him to write a poem on Ganga, extempore. He tells him how you did some mistakes. And so this scholar, he understands he's defeated. And it had never happened. So that night, in great disappointment and sadness, he is thinking, and he little dozes. And then when he dozes, Mother Saraswati appears in his dream and he tells, you were worshipping me, but today I blessed you the most. Every time I was blessing you to win the match. Today, you were actually getting the audience of my master, Swami, my master. I worship him. So today, you got the blessings of my Swami, my Aradhya, Sri Krishna. This Chaitanya Nimai is none other than Sri Krishna. You should surrender to him. So next morning, this scholar immediately he goes to this boy and then he surrenders. Nimai Pandita. He's just 10 or 11 years actually. And then Nimai says, don't tell anyone. Because my whole purpose is different. I don't want to tell that I am the supreme here. I want to do something different. I want to show how to worship that supreme. So why I'm telling this is, so though the Sanatana culture, it tells that, okay, you can worship many devatas, so and so, numbers are also 33, whatever, crores. But conclusively, it is monotheistic. They all tell, like, no, Brahma, Shiva, even they themselves say that Krishna is a supreme. So in the beginning, people may not have that Shraddha to accept, is it not? Due to which they may worship them. So Krishna doesn't see them as to be fit to send to hell or condemn them. He will accept them. But he tells in Gita very nice verses. If you get time, please go through these verses. This comes in 7th chapter. Actually, in 9th chapter also Krishna speaks. Why worship of devatas is not very intelligent. See, it's told in the beginning. Who worship devatas? Krishna starts from there. Whose heart or whose intelligence is stolen by lust, material desires. How does this verse go? If you recollect. Hritat Kama Kamaistaistaihrita jnana prapadyante anya kamai tai hrita jnana. So kama is intense desire to enjoy this world. So those who are afflicted by desire to enjoy, they want immediate gratification. And Krishna is not bound by any immediate obligation. Sometimes some Christians, that's why people, they don't want to worship Krishna because he has his own terms. Sometimes he doesn't respond also. He did that for Dhruva, he did that for some, but he is not obliged. Like Brahmaji, Hiranyakashipu is doing, I have to come and do. Shiva, Vrkasura is cutting his flesh and putting, he is doing whatnot. So they are obliged, forced to do it. There are reasons for it. They want to give faith to their worships, other worships. Ashutosh, he comes quickly. He will fulfill desires very quickly. Kshipram, that word is also used. So that's why Jivas think, if I want to quickly fulfill my desires, they think worshipping devatas is good. But actually Bhagavatam says very different. You have material desires, akama sarva kamo, moksha kama. You have any desire for even mukti, you have no desire, then worship Bhagavan. That's the highest path. Even if one has material desire, one should worship Krishna. No desire, worship Krishna. Mukti desire, worship Krishna. That's how Bhagavatam tells. But people often, what do they consider? Hey, I have a desire and I have a difficulty which is troubling me a lot. Let me quickly go and resolve it by taking to some parihara, some upaya, some devata puja, some harake, whatever. And they do all that different things. So Krishna says that is because, and what they get, phala, is by the worship of devatas is temporary. It's temporary. If you study this sequence of verses, Krishna describes that whole thing. So first he says that those who are not in good intelligence, their knowledge, intelligence is stolen by desires. Such people worship devatas, first thing. Second thing, okay, by worshipping devatas, what do they get? They get what will be eventually destroyed, temporary. That's not the highest gain, actually. Second. And how do these devatas get the power? Actually, I only give. Krishna says, the power of devatas to give is also by Krishna. Third thing. Fourth thing, how do these jivas get that Shraddha on the Devatas. Krishna says, that also I only give it. Krishna says all this. At the end, he says, actually, those who worship Devatas, they are bound to stay in this world. So this world is a dark place. Is it not? And because they are going to be in the dark place even after worshipping the Devatas. So that's why the shloka's first line says, those who are engaged in the worship of demigods enter into the darkest region of ignorance. You see the shloka's translation? So Prabhupada is actually showing this. So there is one very famous shloka in Gita. This is in 9th chapter. Yanti Deva, I told in the beginning, Vrata, Devan, those who worship Devatas, they go to Devatas planets. Pitran Yanti Pitriprata, Bhutani Yanti Bhuteja. So whoever worship, whomever, they worship, they attain that path accordingly. But very interesting, there is one famous wrong understanding. You worship anyone. What is most important is your faith. Ultimately, everyone, all worship goes to him only. Have you heard this? This is very famous. What is important is one's heart, one's faith. You worship anyone. You worship Ganesh, you worship Shiv, you worship him. Ultimately, it goes to him only. That one person, that supreme. I have faith on him. You have faith on that other person. Worship. Don't decry. Have you heard this? So famous. And it appears so very sincere, no? Arey, itna acha hai.
Very appealing.
Huh?
Very appealing.
Very appealing. Very accommodating.
Increasing.
Sorry?
Increasing.
Inclusive, yes. Inclusive. Shraddha, oh important. Astha, oh important. And in that name, those TVs show all type of worship. And so many people, they today, okay, Monday, Shivji. Tuesday is who? Tuesday, I think is, I forget. Wednesday, Vishnu. Thursday, Dattatreya. I'm saying from my understanding, there are many people. Raghavendra Swami, all that. The Friday, I think Tuesday is for Devi, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, Tuesday is for Devi. Friday also, Lakshmi. Shukravarada Pooje Vede. And then Saturday for Hanuman. Sunday you take leave. You sit at home. So point is, they worship all. They don't want to face wrath of anyone. They are fearful. इनको पूजा करके इनको छोड़ दिया. That's the fear. Is it not? And sometimes this fear of past conditioning, it troubles us when we also take to the path of bhakti. Until the stage we actually come across that pure devotee who has that solid faith, unalloyed faith on Krishna. Krishna is my protector. Krishna is my maintainer. Ananya Gatitvam is not. So until we come across such kind of a devotee, we also will not gain that. See, Prabhupada is such kind of a person. He showed it. All our acharyas have shown. So, yeah, I wanted to show here. So Prabhupada talks about that. So that wrong understanding, Prabhupada will explain that with a very nice, appealing analogy. We'll read that. So in the beginning, we heard about a little worship of Devatas, Devata Upasana. This is described in Bhagavad Gita 7.20 to 23. I'll just show the translations. Will not take much time because it's important. It's mentioned by Prabhupada. We'll see the verses. Okay. Oh, sorry. Which chapter? 7, no? So we'll just read the translation of this shlokas of Gita. Okay, verses are very famous in my. So I was telling this verse only. Kama is there. Okay. Someone from online can read, please. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I can.
Yes. Yeah.
Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires, surrender unto demigods and follow the particular rules and regulation of worship according to their own natures.
Interesting. According to their natures, what gunas they are in, they worship accordingly the devatas. In Bhagavatam, it's described who worship which devata because that particular guna that helps them build that faith and they worship. But ultimately, they are all impelled by material desires. Huh? Now, here, continue, Prabhu.
I am in everyone's heart as the super soul. As soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make his faith steady so that he can devote himself to that particular deity.
Yeah. See, Krishna makes the faith of that worshipper steady. Huh? I only give the faith, actually. And then later he says, more surprising. Read.
Endowed with such faith,
Ah.
he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtains his desires. But in actuality, these benefits are bestowed by me alone.
See, if there actually this is important. Without Shraddha, if one does any spiritual activity, it won't give result. So Shraddha is important. Faith is important. So Krishna only gives faith. Now he gave the faith. The person is worshipping. Now that person should have the power also, no, whom he is worshipping. So who gives that power or benefits? Actually, Krishna says, I only give that power. So it's like such a broad-mindedness of Sri Krishna. And at the end, Krishna says very importantly, what they attain. Antavattu phalam tesham tadbhavatyalpamedhasa. So they attain a phala which is antavat, which is having an end. And who attain this? Alpamedhasa,
Alpamedha.
less intelligent people. Medha means intelligence. Alpamedhasa. Then he says, Devan Devayajo Yanti. They worship devatas, they go to Dev. Same, later it will be told. Madbhakta Yanti Mamapi. Yes, Prabhu, read.
Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet.
Very, very clearly, Krishna is telling. So, it's not considered highly intelligent to worship them. One may be having some emotion, some tradition. So, Krishna doesn't say that you have to disrespect others to worship. Doesn't say that. He doesn't approve the worship. He says you respect them. In fact, if you see 64 limbs of bhakti of Krishna, it's told in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it is told there one should not disrespect devotees. This is one of the anga of Krishna bhakti. In other religions, they say you have to disrespect. But Sri Krishna, he says, actually, the other devatas are my limbs. Deva Narayana Angaja. They are all born from the Narayana's Anga. Angaja. Indra is my hand. Brahma is my mana. So Krishna describes this in Bhagavatam. So see them like that. Don't see them as independent lords. That's why you see in Brahma Samhita that gives a very nice understanding of all devatas. Ganesha, Shiva, Durga, these are very powerful devatas whom almost all jivas in this world worship. They are explained, their powers are described, and at the end it is told, like it's told for Ganesha. Is that verse? Yat pada pallava yugam vinidhaya kumbha. He holds on his feet, kumbha. Pada Pallava of the lotus feet of Krishna. Dvandve Samana Samaye Sa Ganadi Raja is the Ganapati. Ganapataye ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Vignan Vihantu Malamasya. He's called Vignanashaka. Vignam Vihantu Malamasya Jagatrayasya. So he is called Vignanashaka, Vigneshwara. And how is he getting that power? Because he holds my feet on top. Who holds? Ganesha on his head. Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. For Durga it is told, Chai Chaye Vayasya Bhuvanani Bibharti Durga Ichhanurupamapi Yasya Chacheshtate Sa Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhaja. She is like my Chaya, who Durga. And she perfectly follows what I desire. Like a shadow follows. Like that she conducts. She is my Shah. Ichhanurupam apiyasya. My Ichha she follows. Who is this? This is Durga. Shiva, it's told. Kshiram yatha dadhi vikara vishesha yoga sanjayate nahi tatha pratagasti hetu. So Shiva is told as he's like a curd. But curd actually comes from milk. And milk and curd are in one sense non-different. Shira and Dadhi. They are non-different. At the same time, Dadhi is a vikara of Kshiram. Understand? So, ultimately, Shira is superior. In fact, Dadhi also accepts it. Shiva also glorifies. And to such a person. And in like this, even Vishnu and Narayana also is described against Krishna. Deepar Chirevahi Dashantaram. So, this Brahma Samhita verses are very, very nice verses to understand the Tattva. Who is supreme? Who stands where? And that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he found this in South India, one of the temples, I believe in Guruvayur, or somewhere in Thiruvettur, somewhere, he found this Brahma Samhita, especially the 5th chapter of Brahma Samhita. Adikeshava temple. Thiruvettur, Adikeshava. You had gone anytime? Yes. You went to the? Okay. So this long reclining Krishna, Ranganatha. So there Chaitanya Mahaprabhu found it and he took it with him up to even Puri and he showed it to all devotees. So that book is very, very important. Prabhupada quotes that very nicely. So why I'm telling that is sometimes we, as I told, because of some emotion, some tradition, we may have a liking to some devotees. But by intelligence, we should understand who is supreme. We don't need to disrespect it. We should, in fact, when we worship Krishna, the devatas are most happy. Like Saraswati was so happy here. Is it not? So like that, every devata is happy. I think that Narsimha Mehta, someone who was worshipping Shiva or Durga, who actually he offers a flower which was already offered by a Vaishnava in mind to Krishna. He used to daily take one flower and offer to Durga from a particular garden. That one day, a Vaishnava was passing by and he thought, this is such a nice flower. I should offer to Krishna. What to do? I can't. So he offered it in mind. I'll offer it to Krishna. And now that flower became a prasad. And that, I think, Chandidas, I think Chandidas, I'm not. So he offers that flower to Chandi. And that day Chandi appears in his dream. I'm so happy with you. Today, how you appeared? Because you gave me, prasadi. That's called prasadi, the flower offered to Krishna. So, then I think there are many, many great people who were sincere in worshipping devatas, and that devata himself led him to Krishna, many like that. So the point is, we as those who have taken to sadhana bhakti under Srila Prabhupada's guidance, we should understand this. That sometimes after even learning, even after taking Diksha, sometimes we don't understand this, due to which we are not exclusively taking shelter of Krishna. And we don't experience the results which Krishna promises in Shastras. We think, oh, okay, TK, for this we will also keep Devatas, we'll also worship. There is nothing wrong in respecting, as I told. We can even offer worship. Like there are some Vishnu Sampradayas who worship Devatas. I know personally many. But they know in their worship, at beginning they offer their puja to Shaligrama or Krishna. And then they see the Devata as someone who is assistant or serving Supreme, and they worship him. Anyway, we can go on describing the Devata worship. So we saw this, 7.23 worshippers, they go to the planet of Devatas. It was described. Showing this. Okay. So apart from Devatas, people may sometimes worship even the people of this world, like scientists, like those who are powerful people, politicians. They may even cricket stars, movie stars, celebrities. Basically, when we say worship, we follow them. We do everything they do. Sometimes hairstyle, dress style, all that. So that's all worship. So all that worship comes in the category of asambuddhi. It will keep us in this darkness. So that's why Krishna says in 8th chapter that everywhere in this world, wherever you go, be it in Brahmaloka or Swarga or individual Devata slokas under that, one will keep taking birth and death again and again. Abrahma bhuvanaloka punaravartin. Arjuna. Punaravartin. Punarvritti. That keeps happening. Except when one attains Mam Upetya, only when one attains Krishna, Punarjanmana Vidyate. See, in the book it is there. These are nice quotations. So, in that sense, a very nice analogy Prabhupada gives. This analogy is very interesting. It's interesting to understand. What is this analogy? The whole So the whole Brahmanda is compared to one coconut shell. Coconut. Nariyal. Anda it's called. No? It's also wrong. Brahmanda. And inherently this world is dark. Similarly, the coconut inside is dark. Is it not? It's dark. That's why in this world, if there is no sun and moon, it's a very, very dark place. Krishna says, I am that sun. I am the moon in Gita. To keep the world bright and give the direction to the jivas, I expand as sun and moon. So, like that, this coconut shell is inherently very dark. There are many resemblances. You can even see how the water is there inside, just like Brahmanda has. The shell, the coverings are also like that. Coconut shell. There are many places this is described. So, Prabhupada describes that just like the coconut shell is dark inside, likewise, this Brahmanda is also dark place. Tamasaha, Jyotirgamaya. Told. So this world is inherently dark. So any planet or any attainment within this one small universe, you see this universe, it could be even the highest attainment of Brahmaloka, but it is still dark. So in that sense, any Devata whom one worships is still in the darkness. That shloka says, no? Tamaha praveshanti. What does that mean, tamaha? Tamaha means this material world. Even if one attains Varga, it is also tama, it is also dark. I get it? So in that sense, this word is described. So this example is very important. Maybe once you can read it. Vedanta Prabhu, you can read it. Sri Ishopanishad points. Read this.
Sri Ishopanishad points out that one who worships the demigods and attends to their material planets still remain in the darkest region of universe. The whole universe is covered by the gigantic material elements. It is just like a coconut covered by a shell and half filled with water. Since its covering is airtight, the darkness within is dense, and therefore the sun and the moon
Are
are required for illumination.
illumination.
How-
Okay, we
yeah.
can pause that. So essentially, what it means is both are dark inside. Both are like shells covered within. So this example is an important example for your exam point of view. Coconut shell, like that, that is an example. Essentially, the light is outside the world. That's why Jyotirgamaya, it's told. Go towards Jyoti. At least Brahma Jyoti or beyond Vaikuntha, that's the Jyoti. So one should actually go in that direction. That's what essentially it means. So this covers the first aspect of the shloka, which is worshipping devatas, one will go to darkness. Now the second part is, what is it? Second part of the shloka. Huh? Those who worship pseudo worship or impersonal, they go to deeper darkness. So Prabhupada talks about that very interestingly from here. So pseudo worship, impersonal worship, what happens to that? 1 minute. Is that aspect coming? We pass that aspect. Okay, it comes in mantra 14, 13, sorry. Okay. Okay, Prabhu, can you read the highlighted part? Vedanta.
Yeah. The problems of life cannot be solved simply by going to the moon planet or to some other planet above or below. Therefore, Sri Ishopanishad advises us not to bother with any destination within this dark material universe, but to try to get out of it and reach the effulgent kingdom of God. There are
Today,
many.
there is a great endeavor. So much money is being put to explore life outside Earth. You know? And people are thinking that's the next edge of growth. To this world, this Earth has become too polluted, unmanageable. Let's go to the other planet. But that planet is also dark. Eventually, that will also give same experience. Today, it may look like that. Moon, okay, Starlink, or whatever their satellites are. So that's what Prabhupada is addressing. So you can see these words are not actually locked in time at the time when they were written. They are still relevant. See, we just need to see it in that light. Prabhupada is talking about moon planet, other planet. Today also people are struggling. Continue, Prabhu.
There are many pseudo worshippers who become religionists only for the sake of name and fame. Such pseudo religionists do not wish to get out of this universe and reach the spiritual sky. They only want to maintain the status quo in the material world under the garb of worshipping the Lord. The atheists and impersonalists lead such foolish pseudo religions into the darkest region by preaching the cult of atheism. The atheists directly deny the existence of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the impersonalist supports the atheist by stressing the impersonal aspects of the Supreme Lord.
This is a very interesting statement. See, there is something called Nastikata, atheism, which says there is no God. They clearly are very frank about it. Thank God. They are very clear about it, that they don't believe in God.
God.
Now, there is another aspect called impersonalism or Mayavad. What is Mayavad essentially? When we say Mayavad, what does it mean? We saw it a little in Mantra 9 also. What is Mayavad?
Or is there's no form.
God doesn't.
Everything is buried.
You know,
We are all gods. We merge into the God and we become God. God doesn't have form. Ultimately, it doesn't have form. There is one more interesting, important tenets of them. When God appears in this world,
You think that he is also there?
He takes a material form. That's very important tenet. Actually, that's the most wrong aspect. That's what defines their offense. No? To think that God is material, God accepts a material form, and they can become God. This is the offensive part of the mind. To think that Supreme is not having form is not so offensive, because there is an aspect of that Supreme, no, called Brahma Jyoti. That's a no, it's a work in progress, the realization in progress. Soon they may attain that higher stage. Like this Chatush Kumaras, they were Brahmavadis. That's called Brahmavada. Those who profess about Brahman, Brahmajot. But this other philosophy is called Mayavad. They think when Bhagavan comes to this world, he becomes a Maya. He's captured by Maya. They talk a lot about Maya. Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya. This whole tennis. So that is Mayavad. So Brahmavad, the path of jnana, that is forward looking, forward going. They go beyond this world. They attain mukti and they may advance further. But Mayavad, they don't go out of the world. Because they are committing offense, they don't have any chance to go outside this bondage. In fact, here it is promised as deeper darkness. Mayavad leads to hell because of the offense. Brahmavad is liberation, Sayujya Mukti or something, they will progress ahead. So there is clear difference between Brahmavadis and Mayavadis. You're getting this difference, because this difference will become more evident in the next verses. So Prabhupada is telling here, atheist means who directly deny the existence of Supremes. Nastik. Now, Mayavadis, what do? They say God doesn't have form. And they say when God comes into this world, he takes material form. It's like, actually, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur tells one story. The story of parrots. Have you heard? So he says that once a king called all his ministers and he gave parrots, small parrots. And he told, you take care of these parrots. I will provide everything necessary for it. You have to show me at the end of 3 months how you have taken care, what all you have trained it in. Okay. So king was giving all the money. So people started doing all different types of training, feeding it well, all that. And on the day after 3 months, when they were called, all were showing their parrots. Nice, very fat and nice, healthy, nicely speaking. One person had not gotten parrot. So the king asked, where is it? King, what to do? My parrot is not shaking its head, moving its wings, moving its legs. What does it mean? It is actually lying. It's not breathing. What do you mean? Has the parent died? I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it. What it means? This person is actually telling the parrot has died. But he's telling it, saying its legs are not moving. It's not breathing. You understanding? What does it have in our context? The Mayavadis, when they say God doesn't have form, he doesn't have eyes, he doesn't have any limbs, he doesn't have any guna, he doesn't have any akara. What does it mean? It as good as saying there is no God. Are you getting this? There is no God. So that's why you see here, the atheists directly deny the existence and impersonalists support the atheists by stressing impersonal aspect. When we stress impersonal aspect, people don't develop that faith. They don't develop virtuous life. Anyway, that's why when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes the famous impersonal philosophy is Buddhism. So Buddhism is actually Nastikta. It directly says Buddhism. It directly says this. And another impersonalism, which is Mayavad, Advaitavad, it is described as a covered Buddhism by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mayavad is Channa Bauddha Mata, it's called. So Buddhism doesn't accept Vedas. If you go and talk to any Buddhist, they do not accept Vedas. That's why it's told, Vedana Manya Bauddha Hoy Nastika. This is Chaitanya Charitamrita's name. They don't accept Veda, that's why they are Nastikas. They appear to be very rigorous, disciplined, and and all things, but they don't accept Vedas. All that they talk about is Shunya, Nirvana, that. Now Mayavad, that is accepting Vedas, but it is establishing essentially the Bauddha Mata only. If you see the Shankaracharya's famous Advaita proponent, Adi Shankaracharya, so he defeated all the Bauddha Mata Vadis. And later he established the same Bauddha Mata on the strength of Vedas. It's a very interesting thing to understand the philosophical details. So, anyway, that's a deeper this thing. So, Prabhupada is telling here that the atheists directly deny and impersonalists, they support the atheists. Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya, whatever you do in this world doesn't matter. It's anyway false, it's anyway dream, illusion. So you can do anything you like, any way you like. Anyway, ultimately it's all false. See, just think about the philosophy, what it can breed into people. They may not stand against any value or any virtue. So the point is, the impersonalism supports atheism. Mayavada will actually breed Nastikta. Apparently, they may appear to be ritualistic in following all that. Deeply, they are Mayavada in essence there. And their whole attitude towards the world. Soon it will disintegrate into Nastik. That's why you see, by the influence of time, it easily is seen as atheism. Because the understanding is wrong, the worship also is wrong. So this is a very interesting statement Prabhupada says. So that's why we should understand these wrong philosophies very clearly. So that is one type of that's one type of false worship. What is that first one? Impersonalists. Then there are those people who show to be religious, but they are all doing it with a very wrong motive, wrong understanding. They are called pseudo-religionists. Can you read ahead, Prabhu? The ignorant.
Yeah, Prabhu. The ignorant, pseudo-religionists and the manufacturers of so-called incarnations who directly violate the Vedic injunctions are liable to enter into the darkest region of the universe because they mislead those who follow them.
Follow them. So pseudo, you must have heard this word. Pseudo means false. And pseudo. So Prabhupada describes them. What are all there? What do they say? That's all described ahead. See, if such foolish men have any knowledge, it is more dangerous in their hands than ignorance. So it's described here below. Read this. Since the entire material universe is
impermanent, whatever is achieved within the darkness of material existence is also impermanent. The question is how to obtain real and permanent life.
So the real intelligent person will ask this: what is the real and permanent gain which I can get? So the Yeah. Here also, this whole paragraph, this paragraph describes the from here, the pseudo-religious. From here, you can read this paragraph describes all different characteristics of such false religionists. Read this. The pseudo-religionists have
The pseudo-religionists have neither knowledge nor detachment from material affairs. For most of them want to live in the golden shackles of material bondage under the shadow of philanthropic activities disguised as religious principles.
so they say you do, this will come ahead, you do Manav Seva, that itself is Madhav. That word will come next. Say. You do philanthropy, you open this thing, that thing, and that itself is Adhyatma. You know? Continue by a false display.
By a false display of religious sentiments, they present a show of devotional service while indulging in all sorts of immoral
So
activities.
this is another very, very starking thing. They say that this is worship and they indulge in immoral acts. There are so many such false people actually. Huh? Due to which the common mass of people, they lose the whole faith on scriptures, religion as a whole. Huh? Continue in this way.
In this way, they pass as spiritual masters and devotees of God. Such violators of religious principles have no respect for the authoritative acharyas, the holy teachers in the strict disciplic
So
succession.
they don't regard the prior great acharyas in our whole Sanatana tradition as a whole. There are many acharyas. So they don't regard them, they don't worship them. They don't even say that I have a guru. If they don't have a guru, actually, where will they say from? So they don't have, they are all self-made. In the Shastra, it's very clearly told one should worship Acharya, but they don't worship, they disregard. And in fact, Prabhupada goes below, further says, these rogues, read ahead.
These rogues are the most dangerous elements in human society because there is no religious government. They escape punishment by the law of the state. They can, however, escape the law of the Supreme.
Lord Supreme. Actually, one of the duty of a king is to find out such false worshippers and punish them. Actually, this is very important duty of a king. Like King Prithu, King Ramachandra, whenever in their it's described also, whenever they saw someone who is following religion with a wrong intention, some wrong method of religion, they immediately stopped and sometimes even killed it, punished, because they give such a wrong precedent to the next generations. Continue, Sri Ishopanishad. So in the chapter 16, Bhagavad Gita, which is divine and demoniac nature. So Krishna says there that one type of demon is who shows himself to be a religionist for such wrong purposes. He has wrong understanding, intentions are wrong, and he is showing outside. He is called Dharma Dwaji. He is holding the flag, Dwaja of Dharma, but he is actually most adharmic. So for some material cheap benefits, they may do this, because as soon as you put up that show, people very innocently come and give money, they become followers. So many like that. So that's also classified as demoniac quality by Krishna. Sri Ishopanishad confirms, read this last.
Sri Ishopanishad confirms that these pseudo-religionists are heading towards the most obnoxious place in the universe after the completion of their spiritual master business, which they conduct simply for sense gratification.
Only sense gratification is their business, selfish enjoyment. So that's their action, and due to which, what will be their destination according to this verse? And the birth and death, but deeper darkness, no? So not that birth and death for Devatas, Upasakas, it actually hell. It's clearly told hell. Moghasha, Mogha Karmano, Mogha Jnana Vichetasa. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says this in 9th chapter. Those who consider me in this wrong way, as avajananti, they will be defeated in all their attempts and they will head into such wrong destinations. So essentially, we saw in this shloka, yeah, this famous story. Once a wolf wanted to capture lambs. It killed one lamb which was behind, and it got the taste of lamb. So it disguised as lamb and entered the pack of lambs. That's actually like a false religionist. This is told by Bhaktisiddhanta. They're more dangerous. And anyway, so in this particular mantra, yeah, I'm showing this. Okay. We saw in the beginning how difficult it is to reach Bhagavan conclusion, Bhagavan understanding. Later we saw Asambhuti leads to darkness. Sambhuti, which is false or so-called absolute, it leads to deeper darkness, according to this statement, right? Two categories of such Sambhuti was described, pseudo-worship and impersonalist. Here impersonalist means Mayavad. Sometimes some places impersonalist means Brahmavad also. You will see that in the future verses it will be described. Okay, so this is a very important verse for our application, how to ascertain our faith, properly identify the right path and all. This is very important. Any comment or questions on this? Yes.
Sambhuti is when we worship Krishna.
Huh?
Sambhuti, we know that it is worship of absolute Krishna.
Worship of Krishna.
Asambhuti is demigods and all.
Any other than Krishna is all Asambhuti.
My question is, if we worship Guru and associates of Krishna,
What is it?
Which category is
So this is very clearly told in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. When we say Krishna and his entourage, Krishna and his Parshadas, pure devotees, they are included. When we say Krishna, even Krishna's expansions like Vishnu, Narada, Vamana, Narsimha, all are included. Anya Bilashita Shunyam. That verse is there, no? Anukulyena Krishna Anushilana. Krishna, that word Krishna means Krishna and his expansions and his pure devotees. So worshipping Guru is in the path of worshipping Krishna, because Guru is seen as a representative or a pure devotee of Krishna. Worshipping, say, suppose someone has Shraddha towards Narsimha. It's actually, externally, it's not exactly Krishna Bhakti, but Narsimha is Krishna's expansion of the Swamsha. That is also Krishna Bhakti. So the definition, we will see that in Nectar of Devotion, that very beginning it will be defined. Bhakti means what? What is the highest Bhakti? So worshipping Guru is a limb of Krishna Bhakti, first limb, is it not? Adau Guru Padashraya. So that is not Asambhuti. Worshipping Guru, worshipping Krishna's expansions, worshipping Krishna's potencies like Sri Radha and others, no? Lakshmi Devi. If one has this vision and worships them, it's not Asambhuti. To the extent that there are examples in Bhagavatam where a great king is offering yajnas to devatas. This is told for Bharata. He is worshipping devatas externally because he has to set that standard for the praja, because they don't have faith on Krishna right now. So they need to follow some Vedic path, right? So he's showing them a right example. But internally he's seeing that Devata actually, now I'm offering for Indra. Indra is a limb hand of Krishna. You're getting this? Prajapatis, Brahma, Narada, all these great, whomever we are respecting, they're all angas of Krishna, Narayana. So He is doing pure bhakti only. Getting this? So we need to understand that. Is it okay? Yeah. Anyone else have any comment or question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Leela Madhuri.
You mentioned that pastime of Vishnu, Bhrigumuni testing Brahma, Mahesh, and
Yes,
Vishnu.
yes,
So there you mentioned because Lord is beyond the mode, so he will not respond based according to the three modes, right?
correct.
I just remembered that one Taylor pastime in the 10th canto where Krishna Balram, when they're entering Mathura, I think Kamsa's tailor or someone, he was taking clothes for Kamsa, and Krishna asks for it, but he denies, saying it is for the king only, like that.
Yeah,
Then I think immediately Krishna kills.
yes.
So just wanted to understand this, some insight on this pastime.
Yeah.
Because Lord is transcendental, of course, he will not respond by them. But can you please explain this?
Yeah. So, very nice. In fact, there are instances of Krishna, Narasimha exhibiting anger, is it not? Or even in this one instance, Prabhu is telling Krishna, actually, he just moves his hand and beheads that washerman who denies to give clothes to him when he enters Mathura. Huh? Balramji also, no? He kills that huh? Romarshana Sutta. He was angry. Just see, is it not? So their anger. So we need to see that wherever that pastime is described, we need to understand from that lens only, because that's the primary source, right? So we need to see from the sources on. So when it is told about that washerman actually was serving Kamsa, and he clearly disrespected Krishna there. See, the same instance is told for Kubja also. You see, Kubja also was servant of Kamsa. She was carrying the scented oils for Kamsa, right? But when she was asked, she by Krishna, there are many people there in that whole episode of Krishna meeting, entering Mathura. There are many people. Some dhobi who denies. Then he asks for this scented oil, kubja. Then someone comes and offers voluntarily flowers. So everyone in Mathura were doing whatever they were doing to please Kamsa till then. But by seeing Krishna, they show that the attraction of Krishna towards Krishna, and they offer that. So Krishna voluntarily asked from that dhobi washerman to give clothes. So he denied it. If you see the history of that washerman, he was actually a demon earlier. So anyway, I'm not going to that history. The point is, because when Krishna asked and he denied, see, there is a description, I forget. I had read it when Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes that. Each of these people having their history actually. But point is, because they denied out of envy, they had envy actually, due to which Krishna punished. So we need to see whenever Krishna, Balaramji, or all the avatars, they exhibit anger, what is the platform on which they exhibit anger? Like Narasimha's anger is supremely pure, is it not? Likewise, like that. Is that okay, Prabhu?
Yeah, I mean, like Narsimha's anger actually was a manifestation of his love for Prahlad's bhakti, right? It was directed towards Hiranyakashipu because he was torturing his devotee. So that was response out of bhakti for Prahlad. But in this case, you said because of the envy. Envy is again a material quality born of the modes. So how is it that Krishna is responding towards someone's envy? Because he's like transcendental, right? Beyond the three gunas. So that was like little bit not clear when you said that.
So in
Other
this word, thank you.
instances, other instances, I was seeing the Lord is responding according to the bhakti. of his devotees, like that. So yeah, in this instance, yeah, please.
Thank you. So, when Lord exhibits affection to devotees, it is not like an affection of this world. In this world, people like other person because they please him, they glorify him, they satisfy him as, in a selfish manner. They want to take happiness from. But when in the path of bhakti, a bhakta worships Krishna, actually Krishna doesn't need that worship. And still Krishna loves his devotee and he shows affection. Why am I telling this? Because in this world, there are two aspects. There is kama and there is krodha. Kama is actually an intense affection on material platform. And that kama, when it is disappointed, it leads to krodha. So these are seen together only. Kama, krodha. So when we see the Supreme Lord exhibiting affection to devotees, when someone that affection first of all is not kama, is not born like on a bodily platform, material platform. And when someone harms his devotee, when Krishna exhibits anger, that is also not of material platform. You getting this? His affection and his anger both are above material platform. So when Krishna exhibited here apparent anger, actually he did not even express any anger by his action. He just moved his hand. He did not show it even in his appearance. See, Narasimha is very graphic in expressing his anger. But Krishna, that's why Prabhupada says, you never ever will see anger in his face. Even in the battlefield, Krishna is smiling. His eyes are always pleasing to look at. There is no tinge of anger appearing in him. Like when Bhrigu hit the chest of Vishnu, he noticed this. He is so prasanna vadana. He's so, there is no tinge of feeling of disrespect. Externally, actually, Brahmaji also controlled. He did not say anything when, disrespect happened to him. But Bhrigu could find out in his heart there are expressions of Rajoguna, anger. But when he saw Vishnu, he saw that there is no anger. Because Rajothamaguna don't stay in him, he's beyond them. So similarly, when Krishna is killing demons, when Krishna is, he is as happy as he is when he's blessing his devotee. He's just doing it, responding to that jiva's attitude. So someone comes with envy, he delivers them. Like Putana, she came with envy. He delivered. This washerman, he was envious. He denied Krishna's request, or he asked for it. So he was delivered in that sense. So Krishna is actually, though apparently it seems like that Krishna, he became angry. That's why he killed her. No, it's not the case. It's not the case. Is that okay, Prabhu? Hare Krishna. I think you also quoted some other pastime. What was it? Some other thing you quoted at the end. Huh? Hare Krishna. Can't hear.
Sorry. My mic was on mute. Sorry. Yeah, no, I'm not remembering. Anyway, I think it's clear to some extent, good enough. Just one more small point. This Buddhism and Mayavad. So Buddhism, please let me know if my understanding is correct. So Buddhism is basically they're denying scriptures, first of all, Vedas.
Yeah.
And they're Shunyavad, right? I think means nothing is there, right?
Correct.
And Mayavad, Shankaracharya has used the Vedas to establish everything is one.
Yes.
So like how is it like covered Buddhism? You say na Prachannam Bauddham Uchyate. So how is it like covered this thing? Can you little bit tell on that? How is Mayavad covered Buddhism? Means nothing and everything is one is like almost same. In that sense, there is no uh, uh, worshipper and worshipped, that distinction and
It's
all the
not there.
servants.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, the worship, the Shunyavadis, what do they say? At the end, you have to become Shunya. They also deny their existence at the perfection. Huh? Nirvana, whatever they call. In the path of Nirvishesha or Mayavada, huh? There also they deny at the end. They say, the Jiva merges and there is no practically difference between worshipper and worshipped. So that Veda is
Okay.
only not there. Then where is the aspect of bhakti and all that? That completely is destroyed actually there. So in that sense, that is Prachannam only. Just that he established on the basis of Veda. Everything is one or everything is zero. It's basically non-differentiatedness. Huh? In that sense. This is also called as Ekatmavada, but it's Ekatmavada is still better actually. But Mayavada goes into the realm of offense, as I told. There is a difference between Brahmavada and Mayavada. Brahmavada also appears to look at Ekatmavada. In Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, Ekatvam prathakva Ekatvena prathatvena bahuda vishwado mukham. This is told in the 9th chapter. Ekatvena means Brahmavada. They say everything is one. But still, this is not so offensive as to decry the existence of Bhagavan. Brahmavadis, they don't offend Bhagavan. For them, okay, Bhagavan is there, theek but we don't have affection to Bhagavan. They don't have that faith on Bhagavan, or they may not have knowledge, or they may not have faith or affection to Bhagavan. But Mayavadis, they completely disprove, offend, decry the existence of Bhagavan, due to which they are considered as very, very dangerous. Just like Bauddhas also. They also decry that. Bauddha Mata is very, very regressive for one's liberation. Is that okay? Hare Krishna. There are far more details to each philosophical understanding, like how they evolved and how one is above other and all. That will be a bit different scope of study. But here it is coming here. That's why it's important to mention that. Okay.
In Bhagavatam first canto, it is mentioned Shukdev Goswami was situated in monism like that. So that was Brahmavad only, yeah?
That is Brahmavadis. Yes, you're right. That's Brahmavadi. Actually, I
Means
did not show that. Yeah, I'll show that on slide. Because actually, that's coming ahead.
So for Brahmavadis, absolute is impersonal effulgence, but
Yeah,
their goal also is merging into that effulgence. Is that their goal also? Absolute
they are
is
merging, but they want to become God, and they in fact decry.
this is Mayavadis decry or
Mayavadis
Brahma.
decry. Brahmavadis don't decry.
So
See,
Brahmavadis also merge.
Chatush Kumaras, they merge in the sense they think they are entering the Brahma Jyoti, but they stay there as docile, dormant, just inactive state. It is Sat existence. No, we saw that it's just eternity. So you can see here, I have mentioned actually this will come in 16th or 17th verse, but since the point has reception, Brahmavadi and Maya. So Brahmavadis, they don't have knowledge or they don't have attraction. Like Chatush Kumaras, they are Brahmavadis, but they have gone to the door of Vaikuntha. They had got some curiosity. They wanted to see Vaikuntha. But they are Brahmavadis till then. After when that cursing episode happens and when Vishnu himself comes and he exhibits his affection to devotees, he speaks very nicely. And they smell that Tulasi. That's when they become devotees. Shukadev Goswami also, in the beginning, he was Brahmavadi. We don't say that he was Mayavadi, he was Brahmavadi. Huh? Yasvanubhavam atititi akhila shruti saramekam Swanubhavam, he had realized Brahman by that. But when he tasted, heard that sweetness and mercy of the Lord, that's when he transformed into Bhakta. So Mayavadis, they are clearly deriding and insulting Lord's form and they claim oneself as. That's difference actually. Okay. Often, whomever we see today, they are so much filled with Maya. But the true Brahmavada as a stepping progress, we can see that in Shastras, in the history also. Is that okay, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, yes. Thank you.
Surprised how long this discussion goes. Today, my intent was to cover 3 shlokas. Krishna Ambul. I thought anyway, this is similar, no? I'll just state this, and we'll go ahead. Okay. We'll enter mantra 13 today. We'll enter mantra number 13. It's on the screen. We'll recite together. It's also similar to mantra number 10. Anyadevahu sambhavat, anyadahur asambhavat, iti shushrumadhirana, yenastad vichachakshire. Exact same verse. Sambhuti asambhuti. Please, someone from online can read. Translation. Who is reading?
Yeah, I can do it. Yeah. It is
I
said.
thought someone else can also read. Vedant Prabhu is
Yeah.
very wonderfully attentive even online.
Hare Krishna,
Here,
Prabhuji,
let's see
Prabhu,
others.
Prabhu. I can read, Prabhuji.
Yes, please. Translation.
All paths lead to same goal.
No.
It is a
Translation.
foolish there. Okay.
Translation. Yeah.
It is said that one result is obtained by worshipping the supreme cause of all causes, and that another result is obtained by worshipping what is not supreme. All this is heard from the undisturbed authorities who clearly explained it.
So this shloka very clearly says that you worship Sambhuti, you get this. You worship Asambhuti, you actually get different result. In the earlier shloka, Sambhuti was false worship. But actual meaning of Sambhuti is what? Supreme absolute truth, Krishna. So you worship Sambhuti, you actually get liberated from this. But you worship Asambhuti, you are in this world only. That's what was seen as darkness. Is it not? So I was telling that very famous wrong understanding prevalent in the society that whomever you worship, it doesn't matter. What matters is your faith. Prabhupada will talk about that. How flawed is that statement? One should know what when one attain as result by worshipping, by following a person. To follow it very blindly is, in one sense, you can call it blind faith. So, Prabhupada will talk about it. Mataji, read from here. The system of hearing.
Okay. The system of hearing from undisturbed authorities is approved in this mantra. Unless one hears from a bona fide acharya who is never disturbed by the changes of the material world, one cannot have the real key to transcendental knowledge. The bona fide spiritual master who has also heard the Shruti mantras or Vedic knowledge from his undisturbed acharya never presents anything that is not mentioned in the Vedic literature.
So here you can see a dhira means an acharya. He shows us who is the right person to worship. That is his great benevolence on the world. He shows the right person whom we should worship. He never says you can worship me or you worship me. He never exploits his followers. So he shows or preaches according to Shastra. You can recognize a true guru by how much he refers Shastra. Like Prabhupada, every time he speaks, he will quote Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, his guru, previous acharyas. they never show themselves as self-made godmen, self-made, someone who by his own power of tapasya. There is one very great, famous spiritual person who says that I was doing tapasya, worshipping some devata for a long time, and that lady, that devata appeared, and then she blessed me. And now I am speaking the knowledge to all of you. They may say they are great Paramahamsas and all, but they're actually not. I hope you got it all my reference. So they may say like that, self-made. Someone nowadays you can see like that so many actually. So a true guru, he always refers to Shrutis, he always quotes previous acharyas. Such is the right, he's the right acharya, he's the Dhira. He shows the nature of this world as how it is temporary and misery. So that person we should follow. Read this is important. Read this. Nowhere, read this.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Ah.
Nowhere in authentic scriptures it is said that one will ultimately reach the same goal by doing anything or worshipping anyone.
So this is
Such
addressing that
foolish
wrong understanding.
theories are offered
All
by
paths
self-made
lead to
spiritual masters
same destination. That's
who
what
have
people.
no connection with the
That's wrong.
parampara. The bona fide system of the disciplic succession, the bona fide spiritual master cannot say that all the paths lead to the same goal and that anyone can attain this goal by his own mode of worship of the demigods or
Of the supreme or whatever. Can't hear. Any common man can very easily understand that a person, this is a very nice example. A person can reach his destination only when he has purchased a ticket for that destination. A person who has purchased a ticket for Calcutta can reach Calcutta, but not Bombay. But so-called spiritual masters say that any and all paths will take one to Supreme. How is it so? Even to go from one place to other place in this world, we choose a right path, right method, and then we reach that. But actually, this spiritual statement, whatever statement of people, all paths lead to sin. Yato tato path. That's a famous statement. As people opine, they give opinions that many paths are there. All paths ultimately go to that same goal. So our acharyas have spoken strongly about this wrong understanding. It was propagated by a big famous Bengali spiritual saint. And it became so famous. And they quote some interesting shloka also. Just like rains are coming. Just like rains are coming and they go, they land on different mountains, rivers. Ultimately, where do the rivers go? Sea. So, just like yatha gachanti sagaram, sarvadeva namaskara keshavam pratigacchati. Any deva you namaskar, at the end it goes to Keshava. Interesting, this shloka. But you see this shloka, if you carefully see, what does this shloka say? Sarvadeva namaskara, where it goes? Keshava. Keshava is the source of the end. Now, when it is told Sarvadeva Namaskara, it is seeing Devatas as earlier we were seeing, as the limbs of that Supreme Lord, as the empowered jivas by the Supreme Lord. If one sees like that and one worships, they're not seeing them independent. Devatas are not independent, they see like. Then, okay, they are offering their worship. It goes in one way to Keshava because they see Keshava Drita. The Devatas also are Keshava's expansions in one sense. So, but people, whatever their ignorance is, their emotion is, their feelings are, they justify based on it. That's not supported in Shastra. The example is very, very clear. This example is important for your exam also. Calcutta train exam, ticket. So you have to choose the destination. whom you want to attain, and accordingly the method will be told. You cannot sit in any train and think that I will go to Bombay. It's foolish. See this? Unless one has received knowledge from a bona fide spiritual master who is in the recognized line of parampara, one cannot have the real thing as it is. Any other person showing himself as guru will say like that, no, yato mat, tato pad. Wherever you want, whoever you worship, everything will take you to that. That's not the opinion of the Shastra. So Krishna says, if you want to really know me, follow parampara. Evam parampara praptam. That's the real knowledge. So when Krishna came also, he showed this. He himself taught it. He set the parampara in that. So here you see, when Krishna was on the planet, Bhakti Yoga principles had become distorted, but he established again by speaking to Arjuna on the battlefield the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna tells the importance of parampara, the acharyas, all that. So today people may misinterpret, they may screw the meanings according to their conveniences and all. But we have to honestly, very sincerely approach a guru and get the real understandings. We should read the Shastras. Nowadays, people are not even referring to Shastras. They go by, someone said like this, someone, unhone aise bola, ye Guruji ne aise bola. That doesn't have any basis actually. Do we do like this in material life? Do we do like this? To get any knowledge, don't we approach the right people? But whenever we talk about God, even an auto driver, even everyone will have an opinion. हम इनको मानते हैं. आपका मानने का क्या value है? If it is based on Shastra, then it's value. नहीं हम इनको मानते हैं, हम इनका पूजा. Who is stopping you? But don't say that it is the highest. That the point is that. So that's Prabhupada would become very angry. He has spoken so much about this kind of practices, Mayavad, Devata Upasana. Why Prabhupada so much was strong against it? Because that will actually a jiva first has to develop faith on the right object. If one's faith is always diverted, oh, you can do this also, that also, this also, then one will not get actually promised result. So Shraddha is very, very important. In the Bhakti path, Shraddha is considered as the entry, Shraddha, then sadhus. Is it not? That Shraddha keeps increasing only at every place. Shraddha is very important. So to protect the Shraddha, Prabhupada in fact went to an extent that we will not worship anyone apart from Krishna. Though in the paramparas, in the other Vaishnava Sampradayas also, as I was telling, there are instances where people, even today, worship other devatas. But they have the right understanding, those who started it, or those who, I don't know how much today they have the right understanding. But Prabhupada told, no, even if for some reason we worship devatas, people will misunderstand. Okay, I can worship anyone and I can still be attaining supreme destination. It's not. So here you can see only, so Krishna, that's why he says, Sharanagati to him alone. That very, very clearly in Bhagavad Gita, is it not? Ultimately advises that one give up all other ways and modes of worship and fully surrender unto him alone. He says, Sarva Dharman Pari. He doesn't say Adharman Parityaja. Adharma has to be left, that is understood. But even he says, Dharman Parityaja. Don't take shelter of other dharmas. I have given other dharmas as a stepping stone. But ultimately one has to come to Ashraya of Krishna. That he establishes in the last instructions in Gita. Mam ekam sharanam. Ekam, Krishna says that. And then only those who are cleansed of all sinful reactions can have such unflinching faith. Others will continue hovering on material platform, their paltry ways of worship, and thus will be misled from real path, thinking that all paths will lead to same. That's a false understanding, false impression. So to say that all paths lead to same goal is so foolish, actually. So Prabhupada it's not Shastric, it is foolish, even materially speaking also. Is it not? So one should analyze one's faith and place it in the right object, in the strength of right scriptures. Actually, ultimately, faith should come from Shastra. Shraddha is actually Shastrartha Vishwasa. It is a faith which is based on scriptures. There could be faith which people may have because of some tradition, some culture. There are many types of faith. Krishna talks about this in one separate chapter only. Shraddha Traya Vibhaga Yoga, 17th chapter, divisions of faith. So, but right faith is based on Shastra. If one doesn't follow Shastra, then he actually doesn't attain transcendence, immortality, or higher destinations. So today, I'll pause it here. We are already over time. Today we saw in this mantra, Krishna. Yeah. This is what we are into. Yeah, this is what we are looking at. No? Mantra 13 now, we are studying now. So mantra 13 resembles mantra number 10. Mantra 10 told material knowledge gives bad qualities. Avidya gives bad qualities. Vidya means it should give good qualities. Some 18 qualities we had seen, is it? Similarly, mantra 13 says, if you are worshipping Sambhuti, what result you will attain? You will actually get liberated. Spiritual. And worship of Asambhuti will keep one in material. Asambhuti worship means worship of devatas, worship of anything apart from Krishna. Krishna here means Krishna, his expansions, his pure devotees, as Prabhu asked. Apart from that, all others, they will not liberate one from this world. Okay, so in this regard, we saw that famous misunderstanding, all paths lead to same goal. We don't see like that. Every road has a billboard, which direction it will take. If we don't see them and follow them, that's our foolishness. Is it? So like that, one should know that all paths don't lead to same goal. Each path will lead to specific goal. It's our intelligence to understand what is the goal or destination and follow it. Thank you. So today we covered up till here. We will try to do it further in the next class. I wanted to ask this from all of you. Next week we don't have class. Next week there is a very interesting seminar. If you have not gotten information, it's about actually very important principle of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. That's anyway have a Nectar of Devotion as your book. So it's good if you can get this understanding. That seminar is given by His Balaram Shakti Prabhu. He's from ISKCON Chowpatty. He's coming over here next Saturday and Sunday. He will be here. So both the days there are seminars, even in the afternoon times also and on. So if you have time, if you can make time, that's best. And attend that. That will be wonderful. So in that sense, next week we won't have class. And I was thinking last week also we don't have. If we can have some time tomorrow. What do all of you say? Tomorrow, actually, how many of you think morning time is possible? Say something like 10 to 11:30 or so. 1.5 hours. No Bhagavatam tomorrow, you know. No? Tomorrow Sunday program is in the evening. His Holiness Bhaktivinoda Swami Maharaj is going to come. So either we can have in the morning 10 to 11:30. Actually, afternoon is another timing, 3 to 4:30 or 5. I won't be here. I will be Tumkur. I take from there. But point is, what time is good? First of all, is it possible? So in this meeting itself, we can, okay, I'll pause the recording. In this meeting itself, we can take a poll